Hey guys, back again. So today I want to rank the Evil Dead movies per request of Derek from Derek's Horror Corner, which I wanted to do this ranking already, but I kind of forgot about it until he mentioned it to me. So thanks for mentioning it to me, Derek, but thank you for making it hard for me too, because this is hard to rank these four movies because I feel like I'm biased with the first three movies. So this ranking will be an interesting one, and I guess starting out with my ranking, it was tough to choose which one would be my number four. And honestly, I think my number four has to be the remake. Even though this has incredible gore, incredible cinematography and visuals, and the characters are good, they're good characters. I don't know why, but this one, in my opinion, out of the four movies, this one is my least favorite. And I'm not saying that as an insult to the movie, but I feel like this one is my least favorite one out of all of them. I feel like for some reason, since Sam Raimi didn't direct this, there isn't as much charm to it in terms of like the first three movies. And the guy who directed this, Fede Alvarez, like, he directed Don't Breathe, which is a great horror movie as well, but just on its own, this movie on its own is a great horror movie. It really is, but for me, the original trilogy is always gonna be like my favorite, and this is still a really worthy movie. Like, it's still a great horror movie, just in terms of ranking it with the other movies, I have to pick it last. And again, that's unfortunate because it makes it sound like I'm demeaning the movie, but I'm not, because I really do love the remake. But it's just my number four. That's where I'll keep it at. My number four is the Evil Dead remake. And then number three would be Army of Darkness. Now, this one, between the original three movies, this wasn't as much of a issue picking which one out of the three would be my third favorite, because while this one is a really cool, really unique, and inventive sequel to the original two movies, like, this is a very interesting, great sequel, which really keeps all of the core things about the first two movies, but puts it in a different time, in the medieval times, and I love that. I love that idea, and I love how Bruce Campbell, in all three of these movies, is charismatic as hell and really entertaining. And in this one, he really gets to shine, I think, the most. Like, even though he's got fantastic moments in the first two movies, but in this one, he really shines. And just in terms of individuality, for individuality of all these movies, this one is the most unique one, because it's not like the first two and like the remake, where they're all in the woods and the demons coming after them. This one is literally in the medieval times, and it even starts in a bright kind of location, like in the daytime, and I like how they changed that up as opposed to the first two. So I really do enjoy this one, and I really do love it. I think it's a great film that really makes this a fantastically rounded trilogy. So my number three would be Army of Darkness. And then this is very hard to choose between these two movies, because this is what I meant whenever I said that it's hard to rank these. Should I put the original over the original number one, or should I put Evil Dead 2 at number one? And my decision is that my number two is the original. The original, to me, you know obviously what the number one is now. It's Evil Dead 2, but the original one, it is, for a low budget, It is one of the most perfect examples of horror used with a low budget, and is really scary and effective, and really works on an incredible level for being so low budget. And it's not like I'm saying low budget makes a movie bad. In this case, this low budget makes this movie incredible and so memorable, because of they had to try and really work on these effects that they didn't have much money for. And using everything in this movie in terms of, like, how everything's set up, how it's shot. It's shot very dark and very creepy. It is the darkest movie in terms of, like, being low budget. You're in the literal darkness in this movie, and I love that. I love how creepy that is. as with the other movies after this one, they're not completely in darkness because they've got a budget, but this one without that budget makes that incredibly scary. And I do love that about this movie. So I really love the first film, and I really love all these characters. I really love how it is very humorous, but not to the level of Evil Dead 2 or Army of Darkness, but it's funny in a way where it's kind of like it eases the tension. It's not like a full comedy like Evil Dead 2 or Army of Darkness. So, but it has a great balance of that between humor and horror. So I really love that. So everything about the original works incredibly well because of its low budget. So I really do love the original movie, and that's why it is my number 2. And then here we go. My number 1, I already said it, Evil Dead 2. It took a lot for me to decide if I wanted this one or the first one as my number 1. And the reason I put this over the first one is just because I feel like it's more interesting of a movie. Like the first one has incredible, because of being a low budget movie, it's incredible for that aspect. But this, I think, is incredible for how entertaining it is. Incredible for how Bruce Campbell really steals the show. The gore is great. I loved every minute of this. I felt like this one is pure fun and entertainment. And the first one is an incredible movie as well, but this one just... Rewatching it again, this is the one I enjoyed the most. I enjoyed Bruce Campbell the most in this one. I enjoyed the characters the most. I really enjoyed the gore and effects. I love the humor in this movie. I think that the scene where Ash is, like, he looks up and he sees, like, the deer head turn and start laughing, and then every item in the room starts laughing at him, and then he starts laughing and going crazy, is my favorite moment in the whole franchise. It is genuinely hilarious, and I love the fact that it introduces him to have the chainsaw arm. Like, it is badass, and I think that I like these characters too. I really liked Annie, the main girl character. I really liked her, and I felt bad whenever she died at the end of the movie. I was like, man, that sucks. Like, I just really cared for her, and I just really love this one overall for all of its entertainment value. While the first one works incredibly well for its low budget and creepiness and pure darkness in that movie, this one is just so fun and so entertaining. And I noticed a lot of people put this as their number 1, and it was really difficult to think which one is my number 1, this one or the first one, because I love them both. And I love the Army of Darkness as well. I think they're a fantastic trilogy. But if I had the trouble picking between 1 and 2. So yeah, that's why Evil Dead 2 is my number 1. So I really enjoyed rewatching all these again, and it's been a while since I've rewatched them. So yeah, I really am glad I rewatched them, and I'm glad that I enjoyed them even more. And I really like all 4 films. I really love, so that it still works. All these films work and are all fun and all watchable and all entertaining. So even ranking them, it feels like an insult to put the remake at number 4. But there's only 4 of them, and they're all great. So it's not like I'm insulting any of them, but I just think it's kind of insulting, if that makes any sense. But that's basically all I can say about this. Thank you guys so much for watching. Tell me your ranking down below of the franchise, and thank you so much for watching.